All right, thank you all so much for coming out to the Queer Lounge this afternoon for our panel on short films. Yes, there is a market. My name is Matt Kane, and I'm one of the co-programmers here at the Queer Lounge. I wanted to just briefly ask you to turn off all devices that could possibly make a sound during the panel, as a courtesy. And to start off with, I'm going to introduce today's moderator, Roberta Monroe. She was a programmer at Sundance for 5 years and has over 15 years of film and festival experience. She's an award-winning filmmaker, and she's also the author of the book, How Not to Make a Short Film, Secrets from a Sundance Programmer. And as one additional note, she is going to be signing books this Wednesday from 1 to 3. And could you remind us where that is?
It's at Dolly's bookstore right here on Main Street.
All right, give Roberta and our panelists a warm round of applause.
Thank you all for coming out. We're going to go down the line. I'm going to have each panelist introduce themselves and what they bring to this amazing panel that we've set up for you. So we'll start with Maria Lynn.
I am the president of distribution at Wolf Video and Wolf Releasing, and we specialize in gay and lesbian releasing. That's all we do. So we pick up about 30 shorts a year and about 12 to 15 features.
I'm Dean Himmer. I'm with a feature film called Out in the Silence, which is now under development with the Sundance Documentary Program. And we've been using shorts as a way to raise social consciousness and also to raise funds for a feature through funders.
Hi, my name is Tiffany Schlane, and I founded the Webby Awards and ran that for about a decade. And I've also been making short films. I've had a couple of short films at Sundance and documentaries, and I'm really interested just through my work with the Webbies and my filmmaking in the marriage of the internet, social documentaries to make change, and also so filmmakers can use the internet to make a living. Equally important, so I'll be talking about that.
Hello, my name is Slava Rubin. I'm the Chief of Strategy and Marketing for Indiegogo, and Indiegogo is an online marketplace for filmmakers to be able to fundraise, build audience, and promote their movies. So we're a year old now, and this year we actually have a few films that have used Indiegogo that made it into Sundance. Tiffany's actually on Indiegogo as well.
Thank you all very much.
Our moderator left. We'll be running this.
You know what? I'm going to go get a drink downstairs. No, I just wanted to grab my little notepad to be making my little notes. Well, thank you so much. What we're going to talk about here today is the formidable marketplace for short film and short content work, which I'm assuming everybody in this room is a filmmaker. Is that true? Can I get a raise of hands for who are directors, producers, actors? Brave, I like that. And I'd like to start to talk about, I'm going to start with you, Tiffany, and we're going to talk about, I'd like to ask you, you started your work with Life, Liberty, and the Pursuit of Happiness, which is the first short that we showed at Sundance. And from that, you used that as a real springboard to make not only your next film, but to create this grassroots movement. So can we talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, I mean, it was kind of before you could show films on the web. So this was in 2003, before YouTube, and films weren't really, there wasn't enough streaming capability, but it was a social action film about the importance of reproductive rights in America. Bush was very much in office. Bush is not going to be in a couple days. But he had just taken away all these rights from women. And the film was shown here, and it was on the 30-year anniversary of Roe v. Wade. And we partnered with all Planned Parenthoods around the country, and we had them use it for their big fundraising galas. And it was just a 13-minute film. And, you know, educators and these events to activate people actually really like the short format, because then they can spend the rest of their time talking about other ways to get engaged. But that was our first experiment with using film and partnering with activists, and then shortly, and we had a distributor for that. But that really taught us about what we did with The Tribe, which is the next film, which we had all the activists and education materials ready when we premiered. We had our URL big in the credits. If you want to buy this film, if you want to use this in classrooms, if you want to. And we're on year 4 of The Tribe, and it's still, we just got a 3-year grant last week to do outreach to educators, because a lot of professors use it. And it really can be bread and butter while you're making other films, as well as the funding can help do more outreach. So, and now it is shown online because obviously there's all these capabilities. So we've done a lot of experiments using short film plus the internet to also make a living while you are doing important work, making change.
Right, absolutely. One of the, I mean, Tiffany Shlade is also featured in my book, and one of the things that she talked about at length with me personally as a filmmaker, and then for the book itself, was about creating a presence on the web for yourself in a way that actually works. Because anybody can set up a website. I mean, we can all just go and for $9.99 go on GoDaddy and get ourselves a website. But if you build it and no one comes, who cares about your website? So can we talk a little bit about that?
Yeah. Well, first of all, any screening you have, like I'm always blown away. Still, when I see films that don't have a URL in the film, like such a good vehicle to get people. And secondly, any screening you have, you should have a clipboard and sign up email addresses. Because anyone that's there is a supporter and seen your film, and they're going to help you. So the Tribe has now played, it premiered here, it's played at 100 film festivals. I didn't go to all of them, but we always were collecting email addresses. So by the time it got onto iTunes, we had a huge list of people that loved the film and supported it and wanted to see it get further. So when we announced we were going to be on iTunes, it was the first documentary to make it to #1 on iTunes, and it was truly through our community that we had built through our screenings and Facebook, and your lists are your gold. You all have lists right now, which are your friends and families, and then people that come to your screenings and support your work, and you can constantly be growing that and having them become part of your work.
Dean, would you like to add to that? Because I know you have done some significant work with Out in Silence.
Sure. We, a couple of years ago, really ran into a story in a very small rural area of Pennsylvania, which now become Obama land, sort of, and really wanted to tell the story, but we were very inexperienced filmmakers. So for us, shorts were a way of learning how to make films, also a way to build up a filmography, and a way just to get out this issue a little bit to the public. We actually went through that time, started by making a short film and entering it in one of these online competitions, which had become popular. It was Seeds of Tolerance, which was run by Current TV, which had a $100,000 prize, that would be like a big grant for us. We got $10,000, which was pretty good. But more important, we were able to start building some rapport about the whole issue and start building materials that we could use to show to potential funders, people who are interested in gay issues, people interested in rural issues, and show the sort of characters and the sort of people that we have that were involved, which I think is the strongest pitch that you can make to somebody is to show that.
Right. And when we were talking earlier, you mentioned that one of the values that you saw in creating short form content for this film was the ability to get people to watch it.
Very much so, because kids can watch something on the internet for 2 minutes, that's fine. Asking anybody to watch 90 minutes is a whole different thing. The other big thing for us is that we gave a camera to our young character, a 15-year-old kid who was being discriminated against in school, and he started making films. And so that's a great way to get people involved. And of course, all kids like to watch stuff on the internet, mostly jackass stuff, but it really worked tremendously well with him.
Right. And I mean, if we can take this opportunity, Matt, to take a look at Dean's clip and give you an idea of how quickly you can become invested in a character in 2 minutes. You can do that.
This starts with this kid at 15 years old when he's been discriminated against, and then a couple of years later, after he got the camera and sued the school.